Hello, welcome to the Horror Syndicate Horror Movie Massacre, brought to you in part by me. Um, Welcome to the show. I believe next week we are going to be starting our Summer of Saw, which really is going to be like 4 episodes of doing the Saw movies. Of course, we went through the entire franchise last week, kind of, and talked about each movie in more of like somewhat of a speed round type of situation. Uh, Next week, we will be talking about Saw 1, 2, and 3, followed by 4, 5, 6, 7, and then Jigsaw, Spiral, and Saw 10X. Saw Roman numeral X, as Seth says. And when I said Roman numeral, it sounded like I've been drinking all day. But today, we wanted to just throw a topic out there, and on the Horror Syndicate's Facebook page, we just did the 5-star rankings of the 5 Psycho movies, with Psycho, Psycho 2, Psycho 3, Psycho 4, the beginning, the 1998 joke of a movie, I think is good enough to say. And then there's also a couple other things we can kind of touch on that I didn't see for myself, but they're out there. So I will bring Seth in. Seth,
What is up?
how's it going?
It's going. How are you?
I'm okay. You really like Psycho 2. Let's start there. We're going to go through each movie,
Yeah.
but Psycho 2 could be a very underrated horror sequel.
Well, I mean, it is like it's. I mean, I started seeing more love for it like over the last couple of years, but like it was one that like I think people liked, but it was never really talked about a lot. And for me, it's like if I know someone who has not seen it, it's a must watch, and they tend to really enjoy it. So
So, Jordan, just so you know, we tried doing ratings for TV shows and it didn't work out very well. So, likely not. We're only doing movies. Uh, and also, that Bates Motel TV show that came out in 1987, I don't think many people saw. I didn't. Did you, Seth?
no,
Okay. So, yeah. So, we'll get into talking some Psycho. Uh, I think it's a decent franchise. It's kind of like uh, Phantasm, where I feel like it's pretty easy to rank. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, it's yeah, absolutely.
Although I will say I have a soft spot for the fourth movie. So yeah, of course, the first movie. Now we just did the 1960s bracket on the Horror Syndicate's Facebook page, and the 1960 Alfred Hitchcock movie. And I know you're a huge fan of Alfred Hitchcock.
Hmm.
Uh, I believe. Let me think. It's going up against Night of the Living Dead. So let me ask you, which I know the answer, but I'm gonna ask anyway. Which movie do you like better?
The original or Psycho 2?
No, Psycho or Night of the Living Dead?
Oh, man, that's a tough one. I'm gonna have to go with Night of the Living Dead because I've been declaring that as my second favorite horror film of all time.
And
But
that's what I thought you'd say.
again, though, like you said, I'm a huge fan of Hitchcock's films, so it's a really tough one. They're very close.
Don't forget, everyone, to hit the like button, please. Let me just throw that out there now. I prefer Psycho over Night of the Living Dead, but the thing is, Psycho is kind of considered at times the first original slasher, and Night of the Living Dead created a whole subgenre of its own. So they're both legendary films, and there is no wrong answer in saying which is better because it's hard to tell. Night of the Living Dead is leading by 17 votes as of right now. It's a really close contest, too close to call, as they say, in presidential campaigns and whatnot. So we'll see how it all comes out tomorrow. Last time I looked, Psycho had a really high score, like 94.7 or something like that. So I'm going to check and see what Night of the Living Dead's was because we did that one a while ago. Night of the Living Dead was 94.6. So they're really close.
Yeah.
Of course they are. So that makes sense. Anyway, let's talk about Psycho a little bit and the impact it has on the horror genre. Not just horror. This is not just a horror movie. This is just a suspense thriller horror film that I mean Alfred Hitchcock was not known as a horror director in my eyes. What do you think?
No, he's more of a suspense thriller uh, director more than anything. I think, like, as far as Hitchcock goes, like Psycho and Frenzy are probably his two that are like closest to horror. Some could say the Birds as well, but I mean everything else is the um, very much mystery thrillers, tales of people who are mistaken for other people, espionage, that type.
Yeah, and Psycho. I never felt like Psycho played like. Have you? Did you ever get to see Peeping Tom by chance?
I never saw that one.
Yeah, and they're similar in some ways. Uh, because Peeping Tom, excuse me, Peeping Tom also gets kind of labeled one of the first slashers as well. I would say because it was more widely seen that this would uh, definitely be more influential than Peeping Tom. But Norman Bates as a character alone, he's got like what multiple personality disorder. He is responsible for the death of many people, and he has a problem with women. It seems like, and plus he's isolated in that house by himself. Well, except for his mother's with him in his brain. But you know, uh, he's a very interesting character, and the movie plays more like a mystery. We get the great moments with obviously Jamie Lee Curtis's mother here, Janet Leigh. But I really think the best parts of the movie are towards the end when you can hear Norma talking while Norman is smiling. That's the thing that always stuck with me with watching this movie. What are some of the things that bring you back to Psycho? And I
I
don't
mean,
mean you being a psycho because that's just a given.
no, I mean it's. I think it's overall a great movie from start to finish. I mean the score by Bernard Herrmann is incredible. It's very iconic, um, and we're introduced to a woman who makes a mistake and
Yeah.
she gets herself a little bit into trouble and we're following her on her journey, and um, she meets this strange man at a motel, and things go from there. And then suddenly the movie shifts. Um, Everything that happened with her is still important. It's still important to the plot and how other characters come involved in this, and how Norman gets uncovered. But yeah, it's one of the things I always love about Hitchcock is the way he shoots stuff. Um, there's just something special about watching a Hitchcock film as far as his camera angles and um, the stuff he does with the camera. Um, I love the scene where Arbogast gets stabbed and he's falling down the stairs. I love it. It looks a little weird, but I love it. Um, yeah, there's just so many great moments with Psycho. It's honestly, out of like I think I've seen like 35 um, Alfred Hitchcock films, and of those, Psycho is still among the top of Hitchcock's work, in my opinion. Uh, it's a little tough to rank because he's had so many excellent films. I personally love like Rear Window, The Man Who Knew Too Much. Frenzy has grown on me. um, yeah, he's just got so many. So like he's one of my favorite filmmakers, and it comes down to his style of storytelling. I think he makes his movies really engaging. You can't help but kind of get invested in like characters in Hitchcock films, and um, the mysteries and the worlds he builds are just so fascinating. But yeah, there's my thoughts. Let's see you back.
Kinda. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Yep.
I have a confession to make.
What's up?
I'm not a big Hitchcock guy.
No.
Never have been. Not for any particular reason. I've never really watched the movies, and never really went out of my way to watch any of the movies. I've seen Psycho and a few of the other ones, but I don't know. I like Psycho a lot. It's definitely. I don't know if I'd call it top 10 or, but it's pretty up there.
Now, Ray, have you seen Frenzy?
Which one is that?
Man, it's kind of hard to explain. It was kind of like one of his later. I think it was like early to mid '70s. I think maybe. Uh, there's a man who gets accused of being a serial killer, and he's trying to find the real killer. That's the best way I can describe it without spoiling stuff.
No, I've never seen that
It,
one.
it's. I would recommend you check that one out for sure.
Frenzy. Let me write it down on my list. See, I heard you on my computer was freaking out a little bit. Talk about a staircase kill.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the death of Arbogast.
I guess. Yeah,
I love the way that is shot.
I
That's
do too.
I think that's like my favorite scene in the movie. Really.
Yeah, and it's kind of iconic, and I mean, we get to see something similar to that in a different way in The Omen with Lee Remick's death. She's falling, from a second floor, but the camera follows her kind of the way it follows Arbogast in the same manner, which is really cool. It's really cool and kind of like it almost. What's the word I'm looking for here? It's unnerving following, the person going down the steps. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it almost messes with your head a little bit, but it's a really cool shot. It is one of the highlights of the movie as far as the kills go because Of course, Marilyn or Marilyn.
Did you freeze again? I think Ray froze up again. So, I guess while Ray's not here, I do want to point out this one comment. I was trying to uh, explain the movie as non-spoilerly as possible to him, so he would at least attempt to watch it. So that's why I kind of, uh, I guess, didn't give the correct details, so to speak. Um, but I think it's a movie that Ray will like. Um, I'm gonna, I guess, look at some comments. I'm not sure how far he got with the comments. I wasn't paying attention. So, Sean Denson says, "Good evening, gentlemen. Hope you both are doing well. I'm out of the hospital finally. By the way, Psycho 2 rocks. Glad to hear you're out of the hospital, and Psycho 2 definitely does rock. All the Psycho sequels are surprisingly worthy of checking out. Perhaps own it. And I also have a soft spot for the fourth one. I really like it. I agree. Ray and I both agree. We both dig the franchise. Uh, Psycho is better. Not sure where to vote. Yeah, it's tough between Psycho and Night of the Living Dead. Um, both are great though. Absolutely. Hey, welcome back, Ray.
Yeah, I don't know if it's happened all night or what. I'm pretty pissed off though, because again, I can't get my internet figured out if it's the fucking internet provider or if it's my router. I bought a new router. It sucked. Hooked up the new router or the old router again, and it's I mean nothing but problems. So
Mm-hmm.
it just can't persist. Otherwise, I can't do this stuff. I can barely even watch TV. That's how bad it's been. Because we rely on the fucking internet for everything nowadays. Fucking rely on it for everything. Pisses me off. I needed that paper. What did I throw? Anyway.
Hey, if it makes you feel any better, you were correct. My shirt is spelled wrong.
So I was like, wait, no, that's not right. And I didn't want to. I don't want to
I
burst the
looked at it
bubble.
again. I'm like, wait a minute. No, he's right. Yeah. So that
Yeah, I
sucks.
mean, I did
So,
write 4 comics where the main character is based off of an owl. So, but anyway, where do
damn
we
it.
leave off?
Let's see. We were talking. We're talking about uh, the kill of Arbogast.
Should have kept cable. It's not about cable, Sean. It's about the internet. Unless you're talking about something else, like cable's for TV. And I have all these beautiful Blu-rays and DVDs to watch. It's not about cable. Although my internet is through the cable. Anyway, yeah, that whole scene is amazing. We're gonna need to go fast because who knows if this is gonna.
Okay.
It's and I see it's starting again. Fuck this fucking bullshit. This is pissing me off.
Yeah, no, man.
Like I
Sorry.
want to bring. We're gonna do discourse this Sunday, but I can't do it if my internet connection isn't stable enough. And it's never been this bad before. We've been
Yeah,
doing that.
usually it's.
I've had this router for 10 fucking years, and now it's I unplugged it for maybe a week and used the new one, and now it's acting like it's the biggest piece of shit of all time. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I mean, it used to be me that was the glitchy one.
Well, the other thing is, and well, it doesn't matter because we got a new fucking modem, and the modem was fine up until like the last week or so. I don't get it. And Spectrum, our provider, like, oh, it's on your end. It must be the router. It's like you motherfuckers are trying to sell me a router. That's what I feel like's going on here, assholes. Anyway, not in a good mood now. I've had a pretty good week, and now I'm in a bad mood because of this episode of Bates. I've neither Bates Motel.
Yep. So, Ray froze again. Um, so I liked Bates Motel when I saw of it. But I mean, you're right there. I think I felt that was a little weird, like that whole scene. Uh, that was him at the bus stop, right? Um, but I didn't have any expectations for Bates Motel, and I was kind of liking the vibe that they were putting down. Um, it's not going to touch the first two movies, of course, but you know, I haven't finished Bates Motel either. Like I got like halfway through season two, and I had to stop for some reason, but I do want to finish it. I know that they take some liberties, from what I understand, with when they get to the Psycho story, but I don't know. And by the way, has anyone read the book by Robert Bloch, Psycho, or his two sequels? Um, thought they were pretty good. I think the first movie is pretty close to the first book. They never touched the second book or the third book, but good reads if you like reading. Never seen Bates Motel. I think it's worth a watch. Uh, Patrick John Doran says, "I'd like to know what the point of the remake was. It was shot for shot, and whatever new stuff they added didn't amount to much." Yeah, that was the problem with the remake, is that it was just there was there was nothing new to it. Like the point of a good remake, like I would point to like Invasion of the Body Snatchers from 1978, where it's like you take a familiar concept and then you just kind of put a new spin on it, which is I feel like what they should have done and what they could have done. They could have gone back to the book, because there was like minor differences between the movie and the book, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong on that. And they could have put a new spin on it, but just trying to mimic Hitchcock. I liked some of the cast of it, but it was a completely pointless remake. Um, so uh, on an unrelated topic, I saw Superman and the Mole Men. It was surprisingly good. Excellent. Glad that you liked it. Yeah, I thought it was really good. I think it really nailed the character of Superman, and yeah, I thought that was a good movie. Of course, they took that, and they later on they took that movie and they split it in two, and they put it as the last two episodes of season one of The Adventures of Superman. So if there's anyone out there who has not seen Superman and the Mole Men, but you've seen the Adventures of Superman show with George Reeves, you might be familiar with it, because they split it in two and used it as two episodes instead of a movie. I saw it because I was watching the Blu-rays. The Blu-ray sets then moved to Netflix and either got delisted or I unsubscribed. I forget. I need to buy them. Yeah, I got the first season on Blu-ray. I need to uh, collect the other ones so I can watch them. Um, because I really dug it. And actually, the thing that surprised me the most was like, at first I was like, Norman doesn't have a fucking half brother. What is this bullshit? And I ended up actually like loving that character the most. That was like my favorite character in the show. And I liked all the stuff with like the town. It was very weird. A lot of dark stuff going on. Really, yeah, I thought it was a neat angle to take. Uh, Norman Bates. Um, Bates Motel was great. I enjoyed it too. I didn't realize there was a book. I'll have to read it. Thanks. Yeah. There's three books Robert Block wrote. There was Psycho, Psycho 2, and then I think the third one was called. What was the third one called? Was it called The Bates Motel? That might have been what it was called. I think the first two have Norman. I don't remember if the third book had Norman in it. It might have been about the like motel after the fact. But yeah, it's a pretty good read. It's again, I think the movie is actually pretty damn close. Description of Norman is a little different, so he's a little bit more heavy set um, in the book. And if I remember correctly, in the book, I think they make it clear that mother was dead. Although it's been forever since I read the book, so I can't say for sure. Actually pronounce my last name right. Thanks. Everyone else pronounces it Doran. That's good to know. I mean, I'm usually butchering names, but I got this one right, so I guess I win that one. Gus Van Sant did the remake, which was trashed by critics, and Goodwill Hunting, which had a Oscar-winning actor win for Robin Williams same year. Yeah, that's why it was surprising. Like I get the appeal of the exercise, right? Of like shooting a movie exactly like Alfred Hitchcock. That's uh, a neat fanboy type exercise to do, but it wasn't the right move. Superman and the Mole Man. I haven't seen that movie in years. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think I saw it for the first time last year because I've just been like marathon and everything Superman, and I was like, you know what? I haven't seen at this point in time. I was like, I have not seen the Kirk Allen theatrical serials, and I hadn't seen any of the George Reeves stuff, and so I started from the beginning with the serials from 1948 and 1950 with Kirk Allen, and then I went to Superman and the Mole Men, and then all 6 seasons of The Adventures of Superman, which is a lot of fun. I love George Reeves as Superman, and I really liked Phyllis Coates as Lois Lane. Although I do kind of gravitate a little bit more towards Noelle Neal because she played her longer, and I just kind of liked her as Lois. But yeah, do you like it, Patrick? Let me know. You doing Werewolf 1956 tomorrow, or did I watch it for nothing? Yes, I am doing that one tomorrow for sure, and I'm gonna rewatch it right before I do the show. Uh, Psycho House, the third book was yes, that's it. That's what it was. Okay, I I, I couldn't remember what it was called, and I thought it had something to do with Psycho, like in the title, but then I was starting to doubt myself. Um, but yes, excellent. Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate that. Because I couldn't remember. I haven't read those books in 20 years. um, the Psycho remake has some good stuff. Main issue is Vince Vaughn. Love him, but he is miscast as Norman. Yeah, he was one of the ones I didn't care for. I pretty much liked almost everyone else in the cast. Like I loved um, William H Macy as Arbogast. I loved uh, Julianne Moore as what is it, Lila or Lily? Jesus Christ, I can't even remember Psycho stuff now. Um, yeah, I love the cast besides Vince Vaughn. Um, wasn't too big on Anne Heche as Marion, but I mean, she wasn't awful. I thought she was fine, but yeah, whatever. I say 3 and 4 are the best to me. Oh, you like Psycho 3 and 4? Really? Better than the first two, huh? That's cool. I mean, I love them all. So, Psycho 3 has some good stuff to it. I know there was something that Ray wanted to talk about with Psycho 3, but I don't know if he's coming back. He hasn't texted me or anything. He's probably all pissed off and needing to let out some steam for a bit. I guess Ray ain't coming back. Yeah, I don't know. Haven't heard from him yet. Maybe he's trying to figure out a situation, or maybe he just needed to walk away for a second and collect himself. I have no idea. Um, Psycho 3 is my least favorite, but it has some cool visuals. Yeah, so if I was to choose my least favorite, I'd probably go with Psycho the Beginning, and I do enjoy Psycho the Beginning quite a bit. I think it's actually the best thing that Mick Garris has directed. Um, but I don't know. I have a big soft spot for Psycho 2 and 3, like as a whole package. Because Psycho 3 really is a follow up to Psycho 2 in so many ways, and I kind of like that they kind of I feel like those two fit the best together out of all of them. It seemed like Psycho 4 the beginning kind of like ignored stuff from Psycho 2 and 3, and yeah, and you know, Psycho 1 and 2 are so different from each other. I think Psycho 2 works perfect as a sequel, but they don't really like match up completely. But like 2 and 3 kind of tie together the most. But I can understand why 3, maybe someone's least favorite. Is it because of the character of the nun? Who is it? Because like I didn't like her story was weird. Um, I like Jeff Fahey and ended up it did have cool visuals too, and like my favorite scene in Psycho 3 is the scene with the cop digging through the ice cube machine for ice cubes. Hey Psycho 3, you have the love interest which goes nowhere. Jeff Fahey is disgusting characters, a poor follow up to the last two. I understand. I just really like Psycho 3. It's nowhere near as good as 1 and 2. Absolutely. That's kind of like the dip in quality starts going down. But I enjoy it. Psycho 2 is genius because Norman Bates is the victim. He only starts killing again because of Lila Loomis. Yeah, absolutely. And like it's weird how much like Psycho 2 makes you feel for Norman. Uh, and like Anthony Perkins' performance is really solid in that film. Um, and I also think with like Psycho 2 is even though they frame it with Norman being the victim and Lila being the villain, like I do like how there's an aspect to Lila that makes sense. Like you can understand why she's so angry, why she doesn't want Norman out, why she's uh, trying her best to get him locked back up. Um, but at the same time, you feel for Norman, who's just trying to um, be okay, and it pushes him to a point where he's not okay. I just really love that dynamic. Psycho 2 is just a phenomenal sequel. I really just think Psycho 3 didn't have much of a story, while Psycho 2 had a very interesting plot. 100% agree with that. Because, like, Psycho 3, for as much as I do enjoy it, it was uh, kind of basic. It was kind of like uh, going back to certain things from the first film instead of being more like the second film and just standing out, right? Psycho 2 stands out from the first one. It doesn't try to be the first one, it doesn't try to mimic the first one. It is its own individual film. And like you said, very interesting plot. Very interesting plot, characters, everything about it worked. Psycho 3, you know, you start seeing like, there's a character whose initials are uh, MC, and she has short blonde hair, and it's Norman being confused and just kind of going back to certain things from the first film. Um, but yeah, notice that Lila married Marion Crane's fiance in Psycho 2. Yep, Sam Loomis. And then they had uh, Meg Tilly. Main issue with Psycho 2 is the ending, that whole secret mother thing I didn't like. I love the ending of Psycho 2 so fucking much. Like, when she shows up, like, okay, I don't. I get your point because I don't, the whole thing about, like, oh, Norman has a real mother and Norma just uh, kind of took him, uh, whatever. But, like, just the whole thing with her showing up at the house and explaining everything, and he's like, "You sure you don't want a peanut butter sandwich?" And then he just whacks her with a shovel. That's like one of my favorite horror endings of all time. So, you know, all I remember about the nun was she looked kind of like Marion Crane, and she showed her boobs. Very true. Yep. I like the Secret Mother. You and me both, buddy. Like it, even though it was something that they didn't necessarily need, so to speak. Uh, I think that ending is fantastic. Hey, Meg Tilly can act, unlike her sister. Meg Tilly is actually, I, she was really good in Psycho too. Um, the Secret Mother just adds another mystery. Was she the one doing all the killings? We don't know. Yeah, that's actually a good point. I took it as she was, um, because I think Lila seemed genuine when she kind of denies certain things. Um, I think Lila is responsible in the fact that she really tried to push Norman with, there's the notes that she was leaving, the phone calls that she was making. Um, she was absolutely trying to push Norman over the edge. Uh, but I do feel like while that was happening, uh, the secret mother, I can't remember her name, and I know this one too so well. Uh, but I think she was doing the killings and saving it. I could be wrong, but as demented as Lila is in Psycho 2, I doubt she'd murder teens just to frame Norman. Yeah, I 100% believe that uh, the murders that were happening were the secret mother. Um, but it was all because of well, actually, some of the notes were, yeah, no, wait, all the notes were left by if I remember correctly, all the notes were left by Lila, right? All the notes and phone calls, for the most part. I could be wrong. Again, it's been a little bit since I watched it. I last watched Psycho 2 probably last year. Showed it to my little brother. He loved it from beginning to end, and he wasn't really like interested in watching it. And he afterwards was like saying that he wanted to applaud the film. So The notes of phone calls were Lila and her daughter. Yes. Okay. Thank you for confirming that. I wasn't sure if there was some things from the real mother, but uh, I think the secret mother killed Dennis Franz and those kids in the basement. 100%. I'm with you on that one. Um, I would have had McTilly go insane at the end. I would have liked that better. The mother just felt forced to me. Um, I don't know. I don't know, man. I love Psycho 2 a lot. I don't have any flaws with Psycho 2. I think the writing is top notch. The acting is great. The score is really good. Um, the direction is really solid. Like I got no issues with it. I think it's a blast from beginning to end. I think it's a very captivating film. Um, if you ask me, and it like you, who would have thought that someone could do a sequel to a Hitchcock film and have something that may rival Hitchcock's film? I know that may be blasphemous to some people, but there are probably people out there who prefer Psycho 2 over the original, and I may be one of those people. I know it's a shame. Um, but I remember, I think before seeing Psycho 2, I saw this like direct to video or made for TV sequel to The Birds. I think it was called like The Birds Land's End or something like that. And it was awful. It was really awful. So I didn't have any hopes, but uh, Psycho 2 just completely surprised me. And it's one that I love to rewatch. Again, it's a film that, like, if I know someone who's seen the original but hasn't seen the sequel, like my little brother last year when I found out he didn't see Psycho 2. I was like, you need to watch this. This is a goddamn must watch. Um, so yeah, I love everything about it. Lila's demented. She would put her own daughter in harm's way. Yeah, that is true. I felt like for the most part, like I could I don't know. I felt like there was a little bit of merit to uh, the character behaving to a certain degree the way that she was. Um, and she was just so wrapped up in vengeance that, yeah, she put her daughter in harm's way. Um, so she's not completely off the hook. I think she's just sort of like, in a way, I think she's an interesting villain of the story. Um, because like her motivations are kind of understandable, but at the same time, she went about it the wrong way, and uh, her actions kind of forced things into motion, and people died. I guess he ain't coming back. It's a shame. Psycho's a good franchise to discuss. Yeah, it was a shame, and I think he was excited to talk about this too. He really wanted to talk about Psycho 3. Have you seen Road Games? No, I haven't, but I want to. I think I have that added to a watch list. I think on Prime. So, uh, directed by Tom Holland. That guy is a horror genius. He is, and he's someone who I can like listen to like talk about film for a while. Like that last Chucky documentary that came out, like there was a good chunk of it that was all about the first film, and just anytime he spoke about it, it was just, to me, it just pulled me in. Uh, yeah, no, Tom Holland only wrote Psycho 2. He didn't direct it. I'm fairly certain of that, and I'm going to double check myself because I'm pretty sure he only wrote it. But regardless, yeah, Tom Holland is great. Um, yes, he only wrote it. Richard Franklin directed it. Um, hold on, I got this collection of the first four, but I'd rather get them individually. She let her daughter stay under the same roof as the man she knows killed her sister, and she opened her daughter up to being spied on. Like, that's a good point. Good point. I liked Werewolf 1956, so won't be a hate episode. The last few I watched were okay after a poor run of movies. Werewolf, the Werewolf from 1956 is really good. I saw that maybe 2 years ago. Like I watched that, and I was a teenage werewolf from 1957 back to back, and it's actually a pretty interesting double feature considering um, certain elements of those films. Richard Franklin directed Psycho 2. Yep. Richard Franklin was a Hitchcock protege. Richard Franklin also directed Road Games. Ah, okay. That's interesting. I'm gonna definitely check that one out. That's the one with is that with Stacy Keach and Jamie Lee Curtis? That's the film I'm thinking of. See, Ray is back. He's rubbing his head. You own Psycho 4, I can never find it anywhere. Yeah, I had to get it with this collection, but I believe it is out individually now. You ready to jump back in, Ray? Yes, Stacey Keach and Jamie Lee Curtis. It's Rear Window on Wheels. Excellent. That's moving up my watch list now. I've been wanting to see it anyway, but because I'm also a sucker for like road movies, um, so that's a double. Let me just text Ray here real quick. I guess I could have thrown some stuff up as I was speaking. I didn't even think of it. Ray had prepared some images here. Uh, we were just talking about Psycho 2, a film that I love and admire. Um, is an excellent horror film, stands on its own, stands apart from the original Psycho, and is just a masterpiece that is sort of, I don't know if I want to say underrated or maybe underseen or undervalued. Uh, I don't know the best way to put it, but um, Psycho 3 is a must watch. That router hates him. Sure does. Um, let's see. So Psycho 3, I talked about that a little bit. Um, and I do enjoy this. I enjoy this as sort of a follow up to Psycho 2. Clearly not as good as Psycho 2, but I think it's a decent companion piece. Typically, when I watch Psycho 2, I'll watch Psycho 3 right after. Um, didn't really care for the nun subplot so much, but I think Jeff Fahey is batshit crazy in the film, and I actually dig it. I think Anthony Perkins does a good job. Both in front of camera and behind camera. He does pay tribute to Hitchcock uh, in a lot of ways. Um, yeah, this one's just it's a weird one. It's a little bit more like sleazy to a certain extent. But I enjoy it as a follow up to Psycho 2, and um, yeah, it's nowhere near as good, but I do enjoy it. Um, Hold on, I just want to check something real quick. Okay, still haven't heard from him, uh, but I see him. uh, I'm sorry, man. I'm not laughing at you. I'm just, it sucks. I know. Uh, Psycho 4, the beginning. Again, I think this is Mick Garris's best directed film, um, and I really enjoy it. I've seen this one a lot because it was on, I think, HBO quite a bit. Uh, but um, but I enjoy it, and of course, I'm typically not a fan of happy endings, but I guess it's kind of nice for Norman that he gets a happy ending with the house burning down and he decides not to murder his wife, as he talked about the entire movie. It was cool seeing some stuff from Norman's past, particularly involving the death of his mother and her lover. Um, yeah, I think Psycho 4 is probably, of the first four, it's my least favorite of the first four. Uh, in general, uh, the Psycho remake is my least favorite of the Psycho films. But Psycho 4, the beginning, I think it's a decent watch. It's if it comes down to the five films, right? Psycho 4, the beginning, and the Psycho remake are the two that I'm not going to reach for when I'm in the mood to watch Psycho. It's either going to be Psycho 1 or Psycho 2. But usually, if I do watch Psycho 2, I kind of follow up with 3 right after. Um, but yeah, I think it's pretty damn good. Uh, it's just it does have like made for TV type quality to it. Um, but I enjoy it for what it is. I don't know how most people feel about it. I know Ray likes it, and I like it. So, I actually rank Psycho 4 higher than Psycho 3. Okay, that's good to know. Uh, that's right, because you said Psycho 3 is your least favorite. So, um, awesome. So, let me know why. Uh, I can't argue with that. I don't really know like the general consensus of Psycho 4, if people dig it or if they don't. Um, yeah. Besides Sean, I think Sean says he doesn't like 4. I could be wrong, as always. Um, I'm just kind of powering through because Ray's not here. It's been live for an hour, so I'm just going to power through and end it if I have to. The Psycho remake. Pointless. It's a absolutely pointless remake. Once again, I understand the fanboy like mentality of maybe wanting to do an exercise in filmmaking by uh, trying to recreate. Hitchcock's shots. Um, but at the same time, it just it makes it completely pointless. It lacks its own original identity. I believe they used even the same script from the original. Instead of, I think they could have uh, hired a writer to readapt Robert Bloch's book uh, and to put their own distinct style on it. And I think that would have worked. I think Vince Vaughn would have worked because I think technically speaking, he matches more the physical description of Norman from the book. Um, but yeah, it's just pointless. I saw it in the theater. I didn't hate it. This is not a film I hate, but I just think it's pointless. I do like some of the cast, like William H. Macy and Julianne Moore in those roles. Viggo Mortensen as Sam Loomis, a little weird, a little different, um, but I enjoy it. Um, all right, gonna get back in the comments. The most pointless movie ever made. Yeah, it's true. There was a good performance by Henry Thomas as young Norman. That's true, and Olivia Hussey as Norman's mother was crazy and hot. That's very true. Vince Vaughn is too handsome to play the Norman from the book. Yeah, I could see that, but they could also like you know put makeup on him and whatever and make
So I'm
him.
here.
Hey, what's up?
I got kicked off again while I was waiting. Yeah, so they want to jump my price up to about $100 and send me new equipment again, even though I just got new equipment a couple months ago.
That sucks, man.
Yeah, I'm looking into other options. Like I think T-Mobile has home internet, so thinking about doing that. It's a 5-year guaranteed price freeze. So
Yeah.
yep. And then my Spectrum bill just went up to 103 from about 80. So because I think they're liars. I think they're a dying thing. They're dying, and they know they've got certain customers. But I've been with them. I've been with Spectrum, which was Charter before, since like 2004 or three when I moved out on my own for the first time. It's awesome that they don't
Hmm.
care about loyal customers.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed the show. I'm
It's
very
all right,
angry right
man.
now.
I
Nate
believe it.
messaged me to ask if we were having a show on Sunday, and I was like, I had no clue. He's like, I was watching. I'm like, the new stuff should be here on the 5th, whenever that is. So 2 days from now.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that's any different. But I think it's bullshit that I got a brand new modem and my router was fine, and then I decided to buy a new router because the other router was 10 years old, and the new router couldn't reach my son's room. So I got rid of the new router, plugged the old router back in, and barely fucking works. How much sense does that make?
Yeah.
It's I don't get it. I'm pretty pissed off right now. So uh, I like all the Psycho movies. They're fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. American companies are there to rape their customers. Plain and simple. That's all they care about is money and making more of it.
Pretty much.
Yeah. There's nothing about customer service. There's no friendly, loyalty bullshit. They are there to take your money. Every business, no one cares about you. They want to take your money. Period. That is the American way.
Besides the horse syndicate, we care.
We don't get any money. Nobody. We're not taking anybody's money.
Exactly. That's why we care.
I have to pay. God, all right, I'm gonna go. I can't deal with this anymore. Um, finish if you would like. Thanks everyone. I can't. I'm so fucking angry.
Sorry, man.
Uh, that's okay. It's not your fault. And besides, I'll probably lose my signal any minute. So I'll see you.
All right, later, man.
Bye.
Well, that sucks. Um, yeah, it sucks big time. I know how frustrating it is, though. I've been very visibly pissed on our shows before, um, because of all the issues I've had. Um, the issue with it is Anthony Perkins as Norman Bates you would not think is a killer until it's revealed seems very normal, whereas Vince Vaughn, from the outset, he's crazy. Sounds like assholes. Could be StreamYard itself. I'm not sure. Am I coming through okay? Because if I'm not, then maybe it is. But I don't know. So I guess I'll finish up this topic. Uh, I haven't seen this, and I've only seen a season and a half of this, and I enjoyed it for what it was. Uh, Definitely a new take, definitely takes liberties, but I kind of liked what they were doing. Um, uh, you are, yeah, okay, cool. Well, I think that about covers it. The Psycho movies are, in my opinion, a really good series of films. Uh, One is just a horror classic. Two is a masterpiece in its own right. Three is, I think, decent. Four is decent. The remake is pointless, um, but it's a series that I do enjoy. Um, so yeah. Anyway, I'm probably gonna bounce in a minute unless anyone has any other comments coming through. Tomorrow I will be doing the Werewolf Wednesday show, and I will be talking about the werewolf from 1956. I'm actually kind of looking forward to rewatching that. I actually just got the DVD in like 2 weeks ago. Um, so that'll be nice not having to watch it on YouTube like I did last time. Um, we may be doing a show on Sunday. Not sure. It depends on how Ray's situation goes. Um, yeah. And then next week, for Horror Movie Massacre, we're supposed to be starting our coverage of the Saw films. So what we're going to do is we're breaking it down into four different shows. The first show is going to be, and I kind of came up with like these names. I don't know if Ray's going to keep these names. If he doesn't, no big deal. But like, I looked at it like this. Um, so for our very first one, we're gonna do the Jigsaw trilogy, which is Saw 1, 2, and 3. Then after that, our next show is gonna be um, the Hoffman saga. So it'll be Saw 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then after that, it is going to be the Jigsaw Legacy, past and future, and that covers um, Jigsaw, Spiral from the Book of Saw, and Saw Roman numeral 10. So we begin that next week. Kind of really looking forward to that. I am a fan of the Saw films, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. Uh, so yeah, thanks to everyone who tuned in and who commented. I got a couple more here. Just dropping in to say, hey, what's up, and smashing the like button. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. And yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, uh, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You don't necessarily have to smash them. You can just touch them gently. Save your keyboard a little bit of pain. But much appreciated. Um, Working tonight, but thought I'd drop in and see what's going on. Thank you. Very much appreciate it. I still got to go over to your channel and check out your Superman reviews because I haven't really been on YouTube much myself lately, but definitely going to. Tomorrow night, The Werewolf from 1956 is the topic for Werewolf Wednesday. Uh, I'll see you then, and hopefully, I will see you next week as we begin our coverage of Saw. And yes, I know my shirt has a typo right over here, and I didn't even realize it. And it sucks because, on principle, I'm not going to be able to wear this shirt anymore, besides maybe at home. I can't wear this out in public, and I like it because I am a new Twin Peaks fan. New because I just got into the series like about month ago, month and a half ago, and just finished season 2 and the movie Fire Walk with Me, which I'm hoping to uh, get ready to uh, talk about at some point for this show. Um, so yeah. Anyway,